Hi everyone, welcome back to my astrology channel. So today I want to talk about the solar eclipse that's occurring on the 29th of March in Aries sign. Now this is going to be the last eclipse on the Aries Libra axis. Now before I begin my video, I just want to thank everyone for all your contribution, your likes, your comments, your subscription to my channel. Thank you very much. It really helps me grow my channel. So thank you once again to everyone. I'm really grateful. Now, let's begin with the eclipse. Now, it is the eclipse season. March is the eclipse season. There's one occurring on the 14th of March in sign of Virgo, which is a lunar eclipse, which is very strong lunar eclipse. And the next one is on the 29th of March, the solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. Now, a solar eclipse is a new moon situation. So the sun and the moon both are in the sign of Aries during that time. So it's very much about new beginnings, fresh starts after a phase of transformation. Now, obviously, the last eclipse on Aries Libra axis occurred in October 2024. And before that, there was an eclipse in the sign of Pisces in September 2024. So that was the end of the eclipse season in 2024. And now we have again the lunar eclipse and solar eclipse in the month of March. So whatever began or whatever energy that shifted around that time is kind of coming to a sort of a conclusion. Now, obviously, the eclipses on Aries Libra axis began in the month of April 2023. So 2 years ago, things started shifting on the Aries Libra axis. Now, if you have placements in Aries or in Libra, last 2 years has been quite a transformative time. Now, this is a culmination. Now, Aries is a fire sign. It's a cardinal fire sign. So it's all about taking charge, being proactive, being assertive, being forward moving. It's action oriented sign because it's ruled by Mars. So it's all about being a warrior in your own life, being independent, being enthusiastic about it, being authentic. Now this solar eclipse occurs on the north node of the moon. Now north node by energy is all about growth. It's about moving forward. South node is about depletion and moving away from that energy, but north node is more about moving towards that energy. So this solar eclipse, the beginnings during this solar eclipse will be crucial for our growth. Now the effect of the solar eclipse will be felt over a period of 6 months. So whatever energy that's shifting in the month of March will be felt over next several months. So it's kind of a cosmic nudge from the universe. It's a chaotic time because there's so many changes happening. Everything seems very chaotic, especially where Virgo sign is in your chart and Aries, obviously with the solar eclipse on 29th of March. It's very chaotic. Things are ending for new things to start. But even though it feels chaotic and kind of unsettling, rest be assured that whatever follows these eclipses is going to lead to growth. So you can expect long-term changes that is triggered in the month of March. The effect of it is going to be long-term. Now, this is an Aries solar eclipse, so the new beginning has a sort of a directness to it, and it affects our sense of self, our identity, our ego self as well. Now, the very next day after the Aries solar eclipse, Neptune moves in Aries. So it kind of gives a kind of a foundation for this long Neptune transit in the sign of Aries. Now, Neptune in Aries is about dissolving the ego, going with the flow, trusting in something greater than us, and also being spiritually assertive and, really trusting the flow. Now, this solar eclipse in Aries is definitely going to help us, achieve that flow going forward. So it's very important to try something new during this time because it is all about being authentic. It's about taking charge of your life, stepping into the leadership role of your life and really moving things forward on your own accord. Nobody's coming to help you. It's all about you. You need to take charge. You need to move things forward. And that's what the solar eclipse in Aries, is trying to urge us to embrace. It's very important to express ourselves truly during this time. No facade, no fakeness. It's all about being authentic, being true to yourself, true to your values, true to your goals, true to your personal ideals. That's what we are trying to achieve with this solar eclipse in Aries. Now, Mercury will be retrograde during this solar eclipse and will be retrograde in the sign of Aries. So when Mercury is retrograde, the energy of Mercury is, slowed down. So we are more in an introspective a phase where our thinking is concerned, where our communication is concerned, we are slowing down. So there can be some sort of lack of clarity around this new beginning. So it's very important to reflect, think over it before you, jump into whatever you want to start during this time. Now, Aries is about jumping in head first, but the retrograde Mercury teaches us to be true to ourselves, eliminate any negative thinking, reflect, and really focus on our long-term vision and our long-term personal goals before embracing this new beginning and thus building our, life going forward. So if there are any sort of discomfort with our past, this solar eclipse in Aries is going to help us push forward. We would want to make those changes because we want change, basically. Now, the ruler of Aries is Mars. So the ruler of the solar eclipse is Mars. And Mars is making very harmonious aspect with Saturn and Uranus during this time. So this means this new beginning that we are hoping for going forward will bring a sense of commitment and a sense of freedom in our lives as a result of the new changes. Now, I will discuss all the 12 zodiac signs and how this Aries solar eclipse is going to affect each of the 12 zodiac signs. So let's begin. Hello Aries, welcome to your solar eclipse reading. Now Aries, the solar eclipse occurs on the 29th of March in the sign of Aries in your sign. So you are at the forefront of this solar eclipse. Now, we just had a lunar eclipse on the 14th of March, and this is the second one of the year. And it's all about new beginnings, fresh start, fresh perspective. And since it's in the sign of Aries, the focus is going to be on your personal courage. So a new beginning in the way you assert your personal courage in the house wherever the eclipse occurs. So it's in your first house, which is the house of self, your identity, your personal goals, your life path, your overall health, your appearance, how you project yourself, how you present yourself, Aries. Now, during this eclipse, Venus and Mercury both will be retrograde. So that will have an effect on the overall experience during this time. Now, with the solar eclipse, which is all about new beginnings, since it's a new moon situation, sun and moon both are in the sign of Aries, a much needed reset and opportunity is there for you, Aries, to start again. Now, obviously, with the retrogrades of Mercury and Venus, you may be more in a planning kind of phase with this eclipse, the new beginning that you aspire, to have in your life. You may be more in a planning or reviewing it or introspecting over what you want, where do you want to go from there. Now, the effect of the solar eclipse will unfold over the next 6 months. So whatever you are beginning during this time around your sense of self, or if you are changing your appearance or looking after your health or reviewing your personal goals and all that, you will see the energy of that unfold over the next several months. Now, solar eclipse is about new beginnings, but it's important to also leave behind what is not good for you anymore, the parts that are no longer aligned with yourself, where you want to head in the future. So there's a kind of an opportunity for new beginnings to your whole life structure because it's in your first house. Everything begins with how you feel about yourself. So there's an opportunity for fresh start in your sense of self. Now, this is the last eclipse on the Aries Libra axis. So all the energies that shifted over the last couple of years, this is kind of a culmination, an ending, and also a beginning in your sign. So here, this can help you make a strong statement about your self-esteem, personal growth, and can also help you overcome any past setbacks in order to succeed and move forward, Aries. Now, the ruler of the Aries solar eclipse is Mars, and Mars is forming a very positive aspect with Saturn and Uranus during the eclipse. So this will give you a sense of commitment and freedom to, have these new beginnings going forward. Now, obviously, as I mentioned before, Mercury and Venus will be still retrograde. So there may be some sort of lack of clarity around your thinking during this time and what actions to take. So it's very important to have a balanced approach and think over whatever you want to begin. And with this Saturn and Uranus positively aspecting the ruler of the solar eclipse, there's going to be structure and a sense of breakthrough going forward with this new beginning. Thank you. Hello Taurus, welcome to your solar eclipse reading. Now Taurus, the Aries solar eclipse occurs on the 29th of March and in the sign of Aries. So that would be a 12th house. So the eclipse will be occurring in your 12th house. Now the energy of this eclipse will be felt over the next 6 months. Now this is the last eclipse on the Aries Libra axis that began 2 years ago. So whatever shifted in the last couple of years, or whatever changes that you experiences in the last couple of years, all that is coming to a conclusion in your 12th house and on your 6th and 12th house axis. So this solar eclipse, which is all about new beginnings, since Sun and Moon both are in the same sign, the sign of Aries, this is an opportunity to kind of see all the shift that you experienced in the last 2 years with a fresh eyes, and bring in new experiences, new beginnings as a result of that. So this is a great time to really look at your last 2 years, kind of conclude and think about how you're going to move forward. Now it is an Aries solar eclipse, so it's going to be a lot about your personal courage. Now obviously it's in the 12th house. Now 12th house is a house of your subconscious. It's a house of your past patterns, your hidden world, your inner world. It's a house of retreating, resting, rejuvenating, taking a break. It's a house of spirituality, sensitivity, emotions, and all that. So here, with the solar eclipse occurring in your 12th house, there's a need to make peace with the past, Taurus, and release any old patterns. Now, you may have been doing that over the last couple of years. So any past patterns, or even self-sabotaging patterns or self-deceiving patterns that you have been entertaining over the last couple of years, or even before that, you may have been releasing over the last couple of years. And this is your opportunities to see all that with fresh perspective. Reflect on your past pattern, on your subconscious fears, past traumas, anything that is holding you back from growing, Taurus. So that's what you are trying to release with this solar eclipse. It is a 12th house, so there's also a time to take a break and rest, and also be patient and stay grounded. Now, during this eclipse, both Venus and Mercury will be retrograde. So that kind of affects the energy of this solar eclipse. Now, Venus is your ruling planet, Taurus. So here, the energy of both the planets are in an introspective phase. So you're kind of reflecting during this time, and any past patterns that is holding you back, you are releasing them. You're introspective, then thinking over it and really looking at what is holding you back, as in what you are doing that is holding you back, and hopefully releasing going forward. Now, this you can do, Taurus, by paying attention to your patterns, and also kind of seeing things in a spiritual way, in a way that kind of connects with something greater than you. Now, 12th house is the house of spirituality. So here, there is a need to find a balance as well between your practical side, tangible side, and the intangible side. It's very important to connect with your inner world during this time. Now, it can be a very emotional time as well, with the new moon occurring in your 12th house. So it's important to, take it easy as well. Don't overdo it. Don't overwhelm yourself, and take rest, get away, go on a retreat or something. And definitely catch up on quality sleep as well during this time. It's very important to rest during this time, because soon it will be Taurus season, and it's going to be all about you. New moon will be in your sign, so that's a great time for new beginning. So this is a good time to rest and really release any old patterns that's not serving you anymore, Taurus. So do identify whatever is holding you back and release during this time. Now, as I mentioned, Mercury and Venus are retrograde. So there can be some sort of lack of clarity during this time where actions are concerned, and your thinking is concerned. You may be overthinking as well. So do take a balanced approach during this time to resolve any patterns, and you can use this time as a preparation period as well, because of the retrogrades around this solar eclipse. Now, the ruler of this Aries solar eclipse is Mars, and Mars is making harmonious aspect with Saturn and Uranus during this time. So there's a sense of commitment, structure, freedom, to this new beginning that is possible with this Aries solar eclipse. So it's important to think over it during this time, and as soon as the other planets go direct later on in the month of April, it's time to move forward and embrace the energy and bring new beginning in your sense of self and your subconscious mind going forward. Thank you. Hello Geminis, welcome to your solar eclipse reading. Now Geminis, the solar eclipse occurs on the 29th of March in the sign of Aries, which is your 11th house. So the new beginnings that you can expect is in your 11th house matter. Now 11th house is a house of your social circle, it's a house of your friend circle, it's a house of your collaborative effort, your teamwork, your organizational work, the work that you put in with other people, your group projects. It's also the house of your aspirations, your future plans, your gains, the long-term gains. It's a house of your hopes and wishes and dreams. So solar eclipse is going to activate all these energy. Now eclipses are a time of massive shift. Now Geminis, this is the last eclipse on the Aries Libra axis, which began 2 years ago. So the shift that you have experienced over the last couple of years on the 5th house and 11th house axis is coming to a culmination with an opportunity to see things with new eyes. Now 11th house, as I mentioned, is the house of your social circle and your aspirations. So here you're looking at your future plans and your social circle and how you fit in a social circle with a new perspective. Now over the last couple of years, you may have realized that the energy of a certain social circle or friend circle or community or whatever people around you, whomever you connect with, and this is not on emotional level, this is on unemotional level, because 11th house is not an emotional house. So these are the people you connect with on an unemotional level. Those people may be not aligned with your purpose or future where you want to head going forward. So you may be stepping outside a certain social situation during this time, or you may have already done it over the last couple of years. And this solar eclipse gives you kind of a new perspective to look at all the changes that you have experienced in order to bring future growth going forward. Now, eclipses, as I mentioned, are these massive nudges from the universe, and it brings these long-term changes. So the energy that you experience over the last couple of years, these are destined changes. So this is a good time to really look at your aspirations, where you're going with this solar eclipse, because it's all about new beginnings. It's a new moon situation. Sun and moon both are in the sign of Aries. So it's all about seeing things differently and bringing these new energies to have these fresh start going forward. Now here, solar eclipse will give you energy and inspiration to transform how you approach a social situation as well. Now you may have had these experiences and inspiration over the last couple of years as well as you were transforming. But this solar eclipse, Aries solar eclipse, which is all about personal courage, personal authority, is kind of helping you to connect with people, like-minded people who are more aligned with your future aspirations, Geminis. Now, obviously, this also means your work, your teamwork, organizational work, if you're working, your career-related work, basically any collaborative work as well. So here, if you are in a job, working in a team situation, which is not kind of aligned with you anymore or is not, fulfilling anymore, this is a good time also to kind of look into what you can do more. Now, the energy of this solar eclipse will unfold over the next 6 months. So you will feel the effect, over the next several months. Now, Venus and Mercury both will be retrograde during this solar eclipse. Now, Mercury is your ruling planet, Gemini. So you will be personally affected by this solar eclipse as well. Now, with both Venus and Mercury retrograde, there can be some sort of lack of clarity around your thinking and the action you need to take around this time. So obviously after 12th of April, when both the planets will be direct, that will bring kind of a clarity. So it's important to approach things in a balanced way, in a harmonious way, and obviously think over your action and don't let negative thoughts affect you. Now, the ruler of the solar eclipse is Mars. Aries is ruled by Mars. And Mars is making a positive aspect with both Saturn and Uranus during this time. So this is good news, because Saturn and Uranus, the positive aspect from that really affects the outcome. So here there's a sense of commitment and structure to this new beginning, and sense of freedom and breakthrough as well to the new beginnings that you want to bring in your life. So if things have been moving slow, this hopefully will give you that, push to move forward, and also commitment to commit to any long-term goals that you want to, embrace during this time. So here there will be changes in your group interest, and you may want to connect more with like-minded people who will help you, achieve those aspirations and realize those dreams that you have going forward, Geminis. Thank you. Hello Cancer, welcome to your solar eclipse reading. Now Cancer, the solar eclipse occurs on the 29th of March in the sign of Aries. And this is going to be the last eclipse on the Aries-Libra axis that began 2 years ago. Now, it's a solar eclipse, so it's a new moon situation, meaning sun and moon both are in the same sign, in the sign of Aries this time. Now, solar eclipse is an amplified new moon, so the energy is like 10 times more. So the shifts that you experience during this time has a far-reaching effect. Now, obviously, the Aries-Libra eclipses began 2 years ago, so there has been a lot of shift around your aspirations, your career aspirations, your professional goals and all that. The axis of 4th and 10th has gone through massive shift and massive instability as well. Now, this solar eclipse is kind of a culmination to all that shift over the last couple of years. So this is an opportunity, Cancer, for you to look at yourself in terms of 10th house matter, where your career aspiration, your professional aspiration, your reputation, your public image, your goals for the future are concerned with new eyes. So that's very important with this Aries solar eclipse. Now, this eclipse, since it's an Aries solar eclipse, is going to be all about your personal courage, your personal authority. And the steps that you take around this time will have a far-reaching effect. So it's very important to be assertive, to be mindful, and to be courageous and more independent where your career aspirations are concerned. Now, both Mercury and Venus will be retrograde during the eclipse. So the effect of the solar eclipse will be a little bit slowed down because of the two personal planets being retrograde. But you can use this time, Cancer, to prepare yourself for this new beginning. Now, obviously, as I said, the energy will unfold over the next 6 months. So the new beginning that you bring around this time, you can transform the shifts that you can experience over the next 6 months can be, really massive. Now, obviously, you want these fresh start in your career matters, in your reputation, in your long-term goals. So it's important to set bold ambitions for the future, and also release any ambition or goals, past goals that is not serving you anymore or is not aligned with where you want to go in future, Cancer. So this requires deep reflection of the path ahead. And what is it that you want from the future? That's very important to reflect during this time. Now, there will be opportunities, new opportunities to improve upon yourself, improve your profile. There can be promotions, awards, accolades, leadership roles, and all that going forward. But this will only come if you see your career matters with fresh perspective and really take action from a place of personal courage. Aries is a very self-oriented sign, so it's going to be all about the effort that you personally put in, Cancer. So definitely it's a great time to look at what you want in future and prepare for it. And once Mercury and Venus both goes retrograde after the mid of April, you can move forward, because the retrograde energies can bring a sort of lack of clarity, or you may be overthinking your actions during this time. So do take a balanced approach towards these new beginnings. Now, the ruler of the Aries solar eclipse is Mars, and Mars makes very harmonious aspects with Saturn and Uranus. So this is good news, because Saturn's energy, if it's afflicted or if it makes a challenging aspect, it can be difficult. Now, this is positive news. So Saturn and Uranus positively connecting with Mars, the ruler of the solar eclipse, will give you a sense of commitment, structure and a sense of freedom to embrace these new beginnings going forward. So definitely this is a good time to see your career matters, your reputation, public image, and your ambition in a new perspective. Now, obviously, the opposite to the 10th house is the 4th house, which is all about family matters, your inner world, emotional foundation, and all that. So all that has been going through kind of shift over the last couple of years. So this is a good time to review your ambition and see it in a new way in order to embrace new beginnings going forward, Cancer. Thank you. Hello, Leos. Welcome to your solar eclipse reading. Now, Leos, the solar eclipse occurs in the sign of Aries on the 29th of March. And Aries is your 9th house. So this eclipse is occurring in your 9th house. Now, a solar eclipse is a new moon situation. So the sun and the moon both are in the same sign, in the sign of Aries. Now, new moons are about new beginnings, fresh starts. And since it's a solar eclipse, all this energy is amplified 10 times or more. So the shifts that occur during this time in terms of new beginning will have a far-reaching effect. Now, this is the last eclipse on the Aries-Libra axis that began 2 years ago. So there has been a lot of shift in the sign of Aries and Libra over the last couple of years. And this is kind of a culmination to all that energy and also an opportunity to see all the changes, all the transformation through fresh eyes. Now, all this is in your 9th house. Now, 9th house is the house of your belief system. It's the house of your faith, your perspective, how you see the world. It's also the house of interaction with foreign perspective, viewpoints, things that are foreign to you. That can be people, culture, places, through traveling, whether it's physical traveling or mental exploration, whatever that might be. It's also the house of higher learning, university program, higher education and all that. It's a house of high consciousness and really keeping an open mind and stretching your mind and imagination to explore the deeper truths of life. Now, with the solar eclipse, Aries solar eclipse, which is all about personal courage. So here, the new beginnings that you can expect or you're hoping to embrace will be around setting intention for growth and expansion in terms, not just in terms of physically exploring and traveling, but also mentally. Your belief system is expanding. You may be seeing world through a different perspective. You may be breaking free from an old way of functioning or living and really exploring and really coming out in the real world, Leos. Now, it's very important to keep an open mind during this time, Leos, and do change direction if you think that's the best way forward, definitely. Because 9th house is a Jupiter-ruled house. So it's all about expansion, keeping an open mind, being optimistic. What you think is your personal truth or seeking that personal truth as well, Leos. So definitely this is a time to keep your mind open and review the life direction and do take, and keep an open mind to take those paths that you want to take. So this solar eclipse in your 9th house will awaken your higher mind as well, and definitely the answers that come your way during this time will really open your mind and really help you grow as a person as well. Now, it is the house of higher learning as well. So you could be doing a university program or a study program to, improve your chances, career aspects, aspirations, whatever that is in future. So that's definitely a possibility as well, Leos. Now, both Venus and Mercury will be retrograde during the solar eclipse. So that will kind of affect the energy around the eclipse. So we are a little bit in a reflective state of mind with the retrogrades, and our thinking may be not completely clear, and that can affect our action. So it's very important to take a balanced approach. And obviously all the shift transformation that you have experienced over the last couple of years, you're kind of reflecting and reviewing all that and hoping to embrace the changes going forward and seeing things in a new perspective with fresh eyes. Now, the ruler of this Aries solar eclipse is Mars, and Mars is making a very harmonious aspect with both Saturn and Uranus during this time. So this is good news, meaning the new beginnings that you can expect during this time will have a sense of commitment and structure and a sense of freedom to it.
Now, obviously, the energy of this eclipse will unfold over the next 6 months. So, the new beginnings that you want to embrace during this time, especially after the mid-April, once Venus and Mercury both are moving forward, this can really help you awaken you and really embrace the changes, the growth that you want. And this is both mentally and physically, in terms of traveling and all that. Definitely, it's going to really help you set you on that best path forward, Leos. Thank you. Hello, Virgos. Welcome to your solar eclipse reading. Now, Virgos, the solar eclipse occurs on the 29th of March in the sign of Aries. Now, Aries is your 8th house, so the solar eclipse occurs in your 8th house. Now, this is the last eclipse on the Aries Libra axis that began 2 years ago. So, this is kind of a culmination to all the transformation and the energy shift that you experienced over the last couple of years, especially in your 2nd and 8th house matters. Now, solar eclipses are a new moon situation, meaning sun and moon both are in the same sign, in the sign of Aries. So, it's all about new beginnings. It's about fresh starts. And since it's a solar eclipse, all this energy of a new moon is amplified. Now, the shifts that you experience over the last couple of years, all that is coming to a close in a way. And this solar eclipse gives you an opportunity to see all that energy in a new way with fresh eyes so that you can embrace these new beginnings going forward. Now, the energy of the solar eclipse will unfold over the next 6 months, or you will experience the energy over several months. So definitely it's important to look at the last 2 years, the shifts that you made, and really see what changes you can make, where you can improve, and really kind of see the 8th house matters in a new way to bring these new beginnings. Now, 8th house is the house of shared resources, shared values. It's a house of social finance, unearned money from other people. This can be through inheritance, through debt, through loan, through combining your finances with somebody else, or detaching your finances with somebody else, whatever that is. Now, it's also the house of transformation and transmutation of negative energy as well. So here, with this solar eclipse over the last couple of years, you must have experienced a lot of shift around your finances, Virgos. And with the North Node in your 8th house, where the solar eclipse is occurring, there has been a lot of changes, shifts, endings, and new beginnings, and hopefully growth in how you see your own value, your own worth through other people's eyes, and also your finances through other people. So this is a time of new beginning, and to really embrace the best way forward, where your shared resources and emotional connections are concerned. 8th house is a house of deeper connection, because when finances are involved with other people, whether it's a spouse or whatever that might be, the connection does get deeper. So here it's important to keep an open mind and heart as well when dealing with 8th house matter. Now, it is an Aries solar eclipse, so it's all about personal courage. It's about personal authority, how you assert your will, how you take action. It's all about being proactive, being assertive, where these new beginnings are concerned. Now, both Mercury and Venus will be retrograde during the eclipse. Now, you are ruled by Mercury, Virgo, so you will be affected by this retrograde personally and around this solar eclipse. So the new beginnings that you're expecting, or hoping to embrace, will be affected mainly in terms of your thinking being clouded, or there may be some sort of lack of clarity, or there may be some sort of overthinking or negative thinking during this time. So all this can affect your action. So it's very important to take a balanced approach in order to embrace these new beginnings in your 8th house matter, how you see your finances and how you combine your finances with other people. Now, the ruler of this solar eclipse is Mars, because Aries is ruled by Mars. And Mars makes a very harmonious aspect with both Saturn and Uranus, which is good news. So there is a sense of commitment and structure to these new beginnings, and also a sense of freedom and breakthrough to these new beginnings. So over the next 6 months, especially after both the planets, Venus and Mercury, are in direct motion after mid-April, you can expect these new beginnings, seeing things in a new way, reflecting, reviewing your finances, and really bringing these fresh start as a result of seeing things differently after all that reflection and introspection over that. Or if there are any mistakes that you have made, you may be reviewing those and kind of overcoming those challenges and mistakes that you made in the past over the last couple of years or whatever. So there has been a lot of shift, a lot of instability around your finances, a lot of growth, a lot of depletion. So here, this is your opportunity to embrace these new beginnings and see things differently and keep an open heart and mind going forward, Virgos. Thank you.
Hello Libras, welcome to your solar eclipse reading. Now Libras, the solar eclipse occurs on the 29th of March in the sign of Aries. Now Aries is your 7th house. So that's where the solar eclipse occurs. Now Libra, this is the last eclipse on the Aries-Libra axis that began 2 years ago. This is kind of a culmination to all the transformation and the energy shifts that you experience over the last couple of years, especially in your 1st and 7th house matter. Now, the solar eclipse are a new moon situation, meaning the sun and moon both are in the same sign, this time in the sign of Aries. So the energy is amplified. So solar eclipses are much stronger than a regular new moon. So the shifts that you experience over the last couple of years, all that is coming to a close. And this solar eclipse in Aries in your 7th house gives an opportunity for you to see all that energy shift over the last couple of years in a new way, with fresh new eyes, with a new perspective, so that you can embrace these new beginnings, new starts going forward. Now, the energy of the solar eclipse will unfold over the next 6 months, so you will experience the energy over several months. So it's important to look at the past couple of years and the lessons that you have learned, the energy shifts that you have experienced, and just overall challenges in your sense of self and your relationship with others that you have experienced. All that can be looked at in a new way. And there's a need to apply a new approach towards relationships. Now, Aries is your 7th house, so the solar eclipse occurs in your 7th house. Now, 7th house is a house of relationship. It's a house of partnership, both personal, business, or any social interaction is a 7th house matter. So with the solar eclipse occurring in your 7th house, there's an opportunity for new beginnings where relationships are concerned, Libras. So this can offer an opportunity for new commitment going forward. This can also help you transform how you connect with others. You may be seeing other people's perspective. Now, Libras, you are the natural 7th house sign. So you do tend to understand other people's perspective naturally anyways. So this energy will help you really understand how you can connect with people in a more Aries way. Now, Aries is a fire cardinal sign. It's about being independent, being authentic, being proactive, and really enthusiastic about your approach. So these new beginnings will have that energy to it. Now, Libras, during the solar eclipse, both Mercury and Venus will be retrograde. So the new beginnings that is promised with this Aries solar eclipse in your 7th house, that may be delayed a little bit because of these retrograde until mid-April. Now, obviously, Venus is your planet, Libras, and it's in retrograde motion. So the relationship matters during this time is in a retrospective phase. This is the time to reflect and introspect. And this can also be used in a way to prepare, because retrograde is a time to slow down and not to take any action during this time. So it's the best time to reflect over your finances and relationship during this time. And with Mercury retrograde, there can be some sort of overthinking or negative thinking attached to it, or lack of clarity. Maybe there is miscommunication or misunderstanding or misrepresentation around this time. So after mid-April, when both these planets are in direct motion, so that's the time you will experience the energy of the solar eclipse really unfolding. So in order to handle these retrograde energies, it's important to take a balanced approach towards these new beginnings and really connect with people in a more balanced way. Now, the ruler of this solar eclipse is Mars, because Aries is ruled by Mars.
And Mars is making a very harmonious aspect both with Saturn and Uranus during this solar eclipse. So that's good news. When heavyweights like Saturn and Uranus are making positive aspect, this is good news. So here there will be a sense of commitment and structure to these new beginnings in relationship matters, and also a sense of freedom and breakthrough to these new beginnings. So that's really good energy, Libras. Now, obviously, the energy of this solar eclipse will unfold over the next several months. So this is a good time to reflect and review how you approach relationship, how you connect with people. What is your role in relationship? Are you projecting negative energies, or are you more open to embracing positive energies and moving forward kind of energy? Because Aries is the sign of moving forward. It's about taking action, being proactive. So that's the approach that is required in relationship matters. So you're seeing things in a new way and reflecting and reviewing on relationship matters during the solar eclipse for things to happen going forward. Now, these reflections and introspection will definitely help you overcome any mistakes or challenges over the last couple of years, and all the instability and energy shifts that you experience in your sense of self and relationship over the last couple of years. This solar eclipse will help you grow out of it and grow into something more positive that is good for you going forward. So here is this opportunity, Libras, to embrace how you connect with people, how you are in a relationship, how you see a relationship. And this is all kind of relationship. It's not just personal relationship. It's any interaction with others. It's important to keep an open heart and open mind when approaching these energies. Thank you, Libras. Hello, Scorpios. Welcome to your solar eclipse reading. Now, Scorpios, the solar eclipse occurs on the 29th of March in the sign of Aries. And Aries is your sixth house. So the solar eclipse occurs in your sixth house. Now, this is the last eclipse on the Aries-Libra axis that began 2 years ago. So this is kind of a culmination time for all the transformation and the energy shift that you experienced over the last couple of years in your 6th house and 12th house matter. That's where your Aries and Libra sign sits. Now, Scorpios, a solar eclipse is a new moon situation, meaning the sun and the moon both are in the same sign. So the energy is amplified. It's not a regular new moon. It's a solar eclipse. So the energy is very much heightened. So anything that you experienced over the last couple of years are all coming to a close in a way. And this solar eclipse will give you an opportunity to see all that energy in a new way, with fresh eyes, with a new perspective, so that you can embrace new beginnings going forward. Now, the energy of the solar eclipse will unfold over the next 6 months, or you will experience the energy over next several months. So definitely it's important to look at the last 2 years, the shift that you made, and really see what changes you can make, where you can really look at what changes you can make and where you can improve in your 6th house matter going forward for these new, in order to embrace these new beginnings. Now, 6th house is the house of work and health matters, Scorpios. It's a house of your daily habit, routine, how you go about basically on a day-to-day basis. So here with this Aries solar eclipse, you are very much proactive around your 6th house energies. Aries is a fire cardinal sign, so it brings a sense of independence and wanting to do things your way, where your work matters are concerned, and also where your health matters are concerned. You're very proactive around these matters. So here with this solar eclipse, your schedules, your routines, all this can be successfully initiated. You can have new energies, you can have new habits, new routines, new job as well, new working condition or improved working condition and all that. So it's important to take care of any business or handle any details in order to increase productivity. Now, you can also build new habits, new ways of doing things as well, definitely. So you can use this opportunity to set new goals related to your work and health matters. Maybe it's a good time to kick out a bad habit and embrace new habits. And this is both around your work and health matters, Scorpios. Now, both Mercury and Venus will be retrograde during this solar eclipse. So the new beginnings that you're expecting or hoping to make during this time will be a little bit affected by these retrograde energies until mid-April, when both will be in direct motion. Now, with Mercury retrograde, there can be some sort of overthinking or negative thinking or clouded judgment around your work or health matters, or there could be misunderstanding, misrepresentation, all that around your work matters, around your work environment with colleagues and all that. So it's important to take a balanced approach and not engage in anything that may, hinder your growth going forward. Now, also Venus will be retrograde. Now, Venus is the planet of relationship and finances. So here also there's a need to review and reflect on these matters. And both these retrograde will affect the solar eclipse. The beginnings, the new starts that you are hoping may be delayed until mid-April. Now, the ruler of this solar eclipse is Mars, because Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is making a harmonious aspect with Saturn and Uranus during this eclipse. So that's really good news. Whenever aspects are positive with heavyweights like Saturn and Uranus, it brings good energy, definitely. So here there is a sense of commitment and structure to these new beginnings, and also a sense of freedom and breakthrough to these new beginnings. So over the next 6 months, you can expect these new starts to unfold. So here during the solar eclipse, you are seeing things in a new way, reflecting and reviewing your work matters, your work environment, your relationship, your health habits, your routines and all that. And you're looking at all this with a new fresh eyes. Now this can also mean changing job or better working condition, or or better health condition and all that. Now if you're overworked as well, this can give you a fresh start to a new kind of situation. So definitely these fresh starts will come as a result of seeing things differently, and after all the reflection and introspection, you can overcome the mistakes and challenges of the last couple of years and really, bring the growth going forward. So any instability that you may have experienced in your work matters, in your physical health, in your mental health, and all that, because it's a 6th and 12th house axis. So any, traumas or past conditioning or past patterns in your daily life, or lacking boundaries and all that, all these can be overcome if you see things in a new way, and you will definitely have opportunity to embrace growth. So here this is your opportunity to embrace a new approach to seeing your work and health matter, and keep an open heart and mind going forward, Scorpios. Thank you. Hello Sagittarius, welcome to your solar eclipse reading. Now, Sagittarius, the solar eclipse occurs on the 29th of March in the sign of Aries. And Aries is your 5th house. So the solar eclipse occurs in your 5th house. Now, this is the last eclipse on the Aries-Libra axis that began 2 years ago. So this is kind of a culmination to all the transformation and the energy shift that you experienced over the last couple of years, especially in your 11th and 5th house matters. Now, solar eclipses are new moon situation, meaning the sun and the moon both are in the same sign, this time in the sign of Aries. And the energy is amplified because it's not any regular new moon, it's a solar eclipse. So it's very heightened energy. Now, all the shifts that you experienced over the last couple of years are all coming to a close in a way. And this solar eclipse gives you an opportunity to see all that energy in a new way, with fresh eyes, with a new perspective, so that you can embrace these new beginnings going forward. Now, the energy of the solar eclipse will unfold over the next 6 months. So you will experience the energy shift over next several months. So it's important to review the last couple of years and the changes that you made and the challenges that you experienced, and really, see things differently in order to improve and to bring these new beginnings in your life. Now, all this occurs in your 5th house. Now, 5th house is the house of self-expression. It's the house of creativity. It's the house of romance, your children, your personal interests. It's a house of standing out. It's a house of taking a risk and all that. So you can experience some sort of new energy where your creativity or your romance, children, pregnancy, childbirth, joy, pleasure, all that is concerned. Now, it is an Aries solar eclipse, so there's an energy to it. It's a fire sign, cardinal fire sign. So there's a energy to it in terms of proactivity, making your own move, taking initiative, being independent, being enthusiastic about these new beginnings. So here with the solar eclipse in your fifth house, you derive pleasure from the way your creativity makes an impact, or you derive pleasure through your children, or you derive pleasure by taking a risk, by putting yourself out there, by standing out. It's a very passionate time with this Aries solar eclipse, and you feel bold as well, and you may be radiating this energy outwardly as well. So do put effort in rebuilding your fifth house matter, and do it with confidence, Sagittarius. Now, both Mercury and Venus will be retrograde during this solar eclipse. So the new beginnings that you are expecting during this time to embrace may be kind of delayed because of the retrogrades. Now, with Mercury retrograde, there can be some sort of lack of clarity or sort of overthinking or negative thinking during this time. So it's very important to take a balanced approach in order to embrace these new beginnings. And Venus is retrograde as well. So there's a sort of introspection and reviewing going on around relationship and money matters. Now, the ruler of this solar eclipse is Mars, because it's an Aries solar eclipse, and Mars is making harmonious aspect with both Saturn and Uranus. So this is good news. Whenever Saturn makes a positive aspect, it's always good news. So here there's a sense of commitment and structure to these new beginnings, and also a sense of freedom and breakthrough to these new starts that you're hoping to make. Now, obviously, the energy of this solar eclipse will unfold over the next several months. Especially, it will be activated once Venus and Mercury goes direct after mid-April. So definitely these new starts will start to unfold around that time. So you're seeing things in a different way. Your fifth house matter, your self-expression, your creativity, how you express yourself. You're seeing all that in a new light, and really bring these fresh start as a result of seeing things differently after a period of reflection and introspection. So any mistakes that you made or any challenges that you experienced, this is a good time to overcome those by seeing things differently, and taking a newer approach around your self-expression, creativity, your relationship with your children, and all that going forward. So any instability over the last couple of years in these matters can be overcome if you approach things differently. So definitely, Sagittarius, in order to embrace joy, it's important to see yourself in a new light going forward. Thank you. Hello Capricorns, welcome to your solar eclipse reading. Now Capricorns, the solar eclipse occurs on the 29th of March in the sign of Aries, and Aries is your fourth house. So solar eclipse occurs in your fourth house. Now this is the last eclipse on the Aries Libra axis that began 2 years ago. So it's kind of a culmination to all the transformation and the energy shift that you experienced over the last couple of years, especially in your 4th house and 10th house matters. Now, solar eclipses are new moon situation, meaning the sun and the moon both are in the same sign, this time the sign of Aries. So the energy is amplified. This is not any regular new moon, it's a solar eclipse. So it's very heightened energy. And over the last couple of years, whatever you experienced is all coming to a close. So there's an opportunity to see all that energy shift in a new way, with fresh eyes, with a new perspective, so that you can embrace these new beginnings going forward. Now, the energy of the solar eclipse will unfold over the next 6 months. So you will experience these new beginnings unfolding over the next several months. So it's important to look at the last 2 years and kind of make changes, improvements in order to embrace the new start that you're hoping to make going forward. Now, all this is happening in your 4th house, and 4th house is the house of your home, your family, your address, where you live, your living situation, your family members, your ancestry, your past, your childhood programming, your emotional foundation, your inner world, and all that, Capricorn. So, here with this Aries solar eclipse, now Aries is a fire sign, so there's a lot of enthusiasm around this solar eclipse for you, around your home matters. So, this can bring opportunity to set new intention around house matters. You could be rebuilding a foundation, you could be moving to a new place, you could be moving out, you could be renovating, doing DIY around your home situation. So, here over the next several months, you will see the energy shifting around your house matters. Now, it is also the house of your emotions, your feelings, and all that. So, there will be a fresh start or seeing your inner world in a new way. So it's very important to listen to your instinct, listen to your gut, and acknowledge your feelings. Also, you're seeking safety and security because fourth house is the house of stability, security, safety. So that's what you're seeking during this time. Now, over the last couple of years, there may have been a lot of instability around your living situation, around your profession, around your career, reputation, and all that. Now, this is your opportunity to see all that in a new way and apply a new approach to bring this safety and security in your life. So, definitely the inner security that you are hoping will come if you see things differently and approach your work and your home matters in a new way. Now, there will be a lot of activities happening around your home and family matters unfolding over the next 6 months. So, definitely do embrace any opportunity to rebuild your foundation going forward. Now, Capricorns, both Mercury and Venus will be retrograde during the eclipse. So, the new beginnings that you're expecting during this time may be delayed a little bit until mid-April. When these planets are in direct motion. Now, with Mercury retrograde, there can be some sort of lack of clarity and some sort of overthinking or negative thinking during this time. So it's important to take a balanced approach to embrace these new beginnings, especially where your home and family matters are concerned, your career matters are concerned. It's important to take a balanced approach to have these new beginnings. Now, Venus is also retrograde, which is the planet of finances, your money, your relationship, how you connect with people. So again, with this retrograde, this is a time to, introspect and review your finances and, connections and all that in order to bring these new energies going forward and to build safety and security going forward. Now, the ruler of the solar eclipse is Mars because Aries is ruled by Mars. And Mars is making a very harmonious aspect with both Saturn and Uranus during the solar eclipse, which is great news because whenever Saturn is making a positive aspect, it's always helpful. So there's a sense of commitment and structure to these new beginnings, and also a sense of freedom and breakthrough to these new beginnings as well. So over the next several months, especially after planets Venus and Mercury are direct, after mid-April, you can expect these new starts to unfold. So Capricorns, you are now seeing things in a new way, reflecting, reviewing your home matters, your, living situations, house situations, your family's matters and all that, and really bringing a fresh start as a result of seeing things differently after all that reflection and introspection over the past mistakes and reviewing it and overcoming challenges in order to bring these new beginnings, especially the challenges over the last couple of years where your living situation was concerned and your career matters were concerned. So any instability that you experience, this solar eclipse will bring an opportunity to grow out of it by seeing things in a new way. It's very important to see things differently. So here is your opportunity, Capricorn, to embrace a new approach and see things in a new light and keep an open mind and heart in order to move forward. Thank you. Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your solar eclipse reading. Now, Aquarius, the solar eclipse occurs on the 29th of March in the sign of Aries, and Aries is your third house. So the solar eclipse occurs in your third house. Now, this is the last eclipse on the Aries-Libra axis that began 2 years ago. So this is kind of a culmination to all the transformation and energy shifts that you experienced over the last couple of years, especially in your third and ninth house matters. Now, solar eclipses are a new moon situation, meaning the sun and the moon both are in the same sign. So the energy is amplified. The shifts that you experience over the last couple of years are all coming to a close in a way. So this solar eclipse will give you an opportunity to see all that energy in a new way, with fresh eyes, with a new perspective, so that you can embrace new beginnings going forward, Aquarius. Now, the energy of the solar eclipse will unfold over the next 6 months. So definitely it's important to look at the last couple of years and the changes and the challenges that you experienced, and make improvements and bring growth in your third house matter to bring these new beginnings. Now, third house is a house of communication, connection, your community, your environment, your siblings, your relatives, how you network, how you express yourself, your logical mind, how you think and all that, your mindset, your outlook and all that. So Aquarius, this is an opportunity for new beginnings and taking a new approach to the way you communicate and the way you connect. Now, Aries is a fire sign, a cardinal fire sign, which is all about being independent, being proactive, being assertive. So all this energy is experienced through your third house matters. So you communicate in a very assertive, very independent, very confident manner. Now, with this solar eclipse, you can be more creative as well. Now third house is also the house of social media and how you connect with people, how you share ideas. Basically, third house is a house of accumulating ideas and sharing those ideas. So here you could, if you are interested, you could start something new where you're sharing your ideas and you're communicating with people. So this can really be useful with the third house energy. Also, third house is a house of the known environment, what you know. So with this Aries solar eclipse, there's an opportunity to, expand beyond your familiar environment as well, and really open your mind and see things differently. Don't limit your mind during this time, and definitely do not limit the way you communicate during this time, especially over the next several months. So learning and expansion is definitely the theme for this solar eclipse, Aries solar eclipse, and must have been over the last couple of years. You experience a lot of instability around the way you communicate, the way you connect, your mind, your faith, all that over the last couple of years. Now, this is your opportunity to see all that in a new way. Now, Aquarius, both Mercury and Venus are retrograde during the solar eclipse. So the new beginnings that you're expecting or hoping to embrace, or the fact that you want to see things in a new way and in a new light, may be a bit delayed until mid-April because of these retrograde energies. So there can be some sort of clouded judgment or lack of clarity, or some sort of overthinking or negative thinking during this time. So it's very important to take a balanced approach and to embrace these new beginnings in a more grounded and centered manner. So the way you communicate, the way you come across, all that needs to be looked at in a new way and approached in a new manner. Now, with Venus being retrograde as well, your relationships, the way you communicate with others in terms of how you connect, the relationships that you build, also is in a kind of a reviewing phase during this time. So you're reviewing how you connect with others, and also your money matters, because Venus is also your finances. Now, the ruler of the solar eclipse is Mars, because Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is making a very harmonious aspect both with Saturn and Uranus during this solar eclipse. So this is good news. Any positive aspect with Saturn is always good news. So this energy brings a sense of commitment and structure to these new beginnings, and also a sense of freedom and breakthrough. So over the next 6 months, especially after both planets Venus and Mercury goes direct from mid-April, you can expect to see things in a new light and embrace new approaches to bring these new beginnings in your life, which will unfold over the next several months. So Aquarius, you will be able to see things in a new way, reflecting and reviewing old patterns, releasing unhealthy patterns, and embracing new approach going forward. So definitely This is a great opportunity to overcome the challenges and mistakes of the last couple of years and really bring some sort of growth by taking a balanced approach and bringing overall stability in the way you think, the way you communicate, and the way you connect, basically, Aquarius. Thank you. Hello Pisces, welcome to your solar eclipse reading. Now Pisces, the solar eclipse occurs on the 29th of March in the sign of Aries. And Aries is your second house. So the solar eclipse occurs in your second house. Now Pisces, this is the last eclipse on the Aries Libra axis that began 2 years ago. And it's kind of a culmination to all the transformation and the energy shifts that you experienced over the last couple of years, especially in your second house and eighth house matters. Now, a solar eclipse is a new moon situation, meaning the sun and the moon both are in the same sign. So the energy is amplified. It's very heightened. So the energy shift that you experienced over the last couple of years are all coming to a close, especially in your second and eighth house matters. So this solar eclipse, the last solar eclipse on the Aries Libra axis, is an opportunity to see things in a new way, with fresh eyes, with a new perspective, where your second house matters are concerned. Now, second house is the house of finances, income, assets, material security, and your sense of self-worth. So you're seeing all this in a new way in order to embrace new beginnings going forward, Pisces. So the energy of this solar eclipse will unfold over a period of next 6 months. So this is a good opportunity to review the last 2 years, where your finances are concerned, your sense of security is concerned, your material possession is concerned, your spending habits are concerned, your purchasing habits are concerned, your sense of self-worth, your worthiness is concerned, all that, and see all that in a new way in order to bring these new beginnings, Pisces. Now, with the solar eclipse occurring in your second house, this is a great opportunity to have fresh start, where your income making ability is concerned, where your finances are concerned, your budgeting, spending, your incoming and outgoing, all that is concerned. This is a good time to really redefine all these energies and slow down a little bit, plan and prepare, because this solar eclipse can really bring an opportunity for new energy around your material security, your self-worth and all that. So you can really use this energy to transition and really get in touch with your resources, not just external resources, but also internal resources, Pisces, because second house is also the house of talents. So you can also experience not just new beginnings in material aspect, but also your inner resources, your talent, using that to make money. So you could also look into multiple income stream, and really look at these. That's the opportunity available for you to utilize going forward. Now, financial planning, budgeting, clearing any debt, saving for the rainy day, all that is also crucial with this second house solar eclipse. Now, obviously, there's a need to see all this in a new way. From the past couple of years. Now, there were probably some challenges around your finances over the last couple of years. So this is your opportunity to see things differently and plan ahead. Now, Mercury and Venus both are retrograde during the solar eclipse. So these new beginnings that you're expecting or hoping to embrace may be affected a little bit or delayed a little bit because of these retrogrades. Now, with Mercury retrograde, which affects our mind, our thinking, there can be some sort of clouded judgment or lack of clarity, or some sort of overthinking or negative thinking during this time. But after it goes direct, after both these planets goes direct from mid-April, the energy will start shifting. So it's very important to take a balanced approach where your new beginnings are concerned and your finances are concerned, how you see finances, and more importantly, how you see yourself through your finances. It's important to not attach your material possession to your sense of self-worth. It's important to connect with your inner resources, your own talents, your own capabilities, and your own qualities, and use them to build your sense of self-worth. Now, Venus is also retrograde, which rules finances and our connections. So again, all this is going through a review, and this is a great opportunity to use this time to reflect and thus prepare in order to embrace the promises of the solar eclipse in your second house going forward. Now, the ruler of the solar eclipse is Mars, because Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is making a very harmonious aspect with both Saturn and Uranus during this eclipse. So this is great news. Whenever Saturn makes a positive aspect, it's always positive news. So here, with this positive aspect to Mars, the ruling planet of the solar eclipse, there is a sense of commitment and structure to these new beginnings, and also a sense of freedom and breakthrough to these new beginnings. So over the next 6 months, especially after Venus and Mercury goes direct after mid-April, you can expect these new starts. So this is a good time to prepare to embrace those new beginnings. So overall, Pisces, this solar eclipse will help you see things differently in a new way as a result of reflecting and reviewing your financial situation, and also embrace these new beginnings going forward. So definitely any mistakes made over the last couple of years, or instability or challenges experienced over the last couple of years, this is your opportunity to bring a growth mindset to your financial situation and to your sense of security and your sense of self-worth, and also keep an open heart and mind going forward, Pisces. Thank you.